Well, the other day on MSNBC, another cable network, one of their hosts compared Governor Sarah Palin to a slave owner and said some extremely vile things should happen to her. We're not going to run the soundbite. It doesn't deserve to be aired, and frankly, it's too gross for television, even evening television. But in response, Ms. Palin's Political Action Committee issued a statement, a letter actually, demanding answers, including, quote, "We would like to know what disciplinary measures you, the cable network, are taking about Martin Bashir's appalling statement that someone should defecate and or urinate in Governor Palin's mouth." Got the picture? Bashir has apologized, but no action has been taken by MSNBC or NBC against him yet. Joe Concha is a columnist for Mediaite.com and writes about media in general. And Joe, it's so vile and disturbing, and yet nothing's being done about it. It's so gross, I didn't even want to cover it, and yet the insult is huge, the injury is huge, and the response is non-existent?
Nothing has been done about it, but nothing's been said as well, and that's the curious part about this.
Other than his apology?
Correct, yes, but nothing
by
from
corporate
MSNBC management, exactly, or NBC News for that matter. But let's compare two things that happened last week, okay? One guy at MSNBC, Alec Baldwin, you may know him from the Capital One commercials.
He's an angry man.
He is, yes. And he got suspended for something that he said in a fit of rage on a Manhattan street. A gay slur of the week, basically, from Alec, right? So he gets 2 weeks. Martin Bashir has premeditated, calculated, written down comments about Sarah Palin. What happens? That then goes into a teleprompter. But before it does, it goes through a copy editor, a line producer, maybe a segment producer, probably an executive producer. It went through all of those.
And they had
vettings.
graphics. I mean, graphics weighed in.
So clearly, this went through a vetting process. And the editorial culture over there said, you know what, let's see, let's look at the script. Defecating, check. Urinating, check. Palin, check. Mouth, check. Hey, what could possibly go wrong? Let's go to air with it, right? So that goes all the way up to the top of MSNBC and the president there, who I'm not saying advocates this stuff, but if producers are willing to go to air with this, they don't fear their boss. And if they don't fear their boss, that's why you see this time and again on that network, these types of vile statements, and this is why their credibility is
why the different treatment when, you know, is it because one is a gay slur and one is a slur of Sarah Palin?
Probably. There's probably a political aspect to all of this, certainly. I think there's going to be pressure from not so much women's groups. You know, they're being hypocritical here. That's ideological also. It's not about gender. Where is now?
Well, I mean, just Google a thing or two about what Gloria Steinem has said about Sarah Palin, and you'll see where the women's
That's all you need to know. No women of MSNBC have spoken about this. Rachel Maddow.
Nothing?
Or Mika. No, not a word. Now, remember, you know, Lou Dobbs had said something earlier in the year. You took him on, but you debated him on the show, and you got it out in the open. Not a word from them as well. Where the pressure is going to come from.
Maybe behind the scenes they've done something.
Perhaps.
I mean, maybe pressure is building over there right now from their hosts and their, you know, their talent and
6
so on
days?
to do something about this guy. Because it makes everybody look bad. When you have somebody doing that, it makes everybody look bad. And ultimately, hopefully, it gets taken care of. The question is, as you point out, it's been 6 days and nothing's happened. Right. Alec Baldwin, gone. I mean, like, suspended. Now they're saying he may not come back almost immediately, Joe.
Probably, yeah. So, but here's the thing. The pressure is going to come from NBC News, and particularly there's two rules here that you should follow. Never put Baby in a corner, Dirty Dancing, right? And never put Matt Lauer in a corner. And what happened here was Palin was supposed to do an interview with Matt Lauer. Matt was going to fly all the way to Wasilla in Alaska, all right? And it was going to be a big ratings draw because Palin, whatever you think of her, she always gives you a couple ticks up as far as ratings are concerned.
She always makes news.
She does.
Whatever she says is news.
She canceled on that interview. So Matt Lauer must be saying, guys, over at MSNBC, they're supposed to be mutually exclusive. What are you doing?
Yeah, but
you got to do something. You're affecting my business.
You never see Matt Lauer appear on MSNBC. You never do.
That's right.
And there's a reason for that.
But he's got to be angry about that. And one more thing about Palin.
Quickly.
The super PAC is not, did respond. Sarah Palin has not. And I think you see some maturation on her part. She used to just jump right in, be a little thin-skinned. She knows if she responds personally, then this is going to give the story more and more legs. But for now,
I think Sarah Palin is used to people beating up on her, even unfairly in the media. Some fairly, some unfairly. There's no question this is beyond the pale, and I know he apologized. I want to make that clear, and it was a long apology, and it seemed to be, you know, full-throated apology. But is that good enough when you've crossed the line to this extent?
Really quick.
Gotta go.
The apology may not have been written by Martin Bashir, according to Joe Scarborough, who went on another network and said, "I don't think Martin Bashir wrote that." Can you imagine if you went on The View and you said, "O'Reilly, that talking points memo, he doesn't write that." You know what would happen?
You know what happened?
Yeah, they'd say, "You know that
the next time I was on the set,
vacation?"
and he did caution. He I'd be gone.
You'd be
All right,
taking
I gotta
your Thanksgiving vacation now instead of next week.
Good to
Believe me.
see you.
Good to see you.
Up next.